write your name down as Nayari. Do you want to change your name? I said that because I actually legally changed it, and the whole room clapped and everybody was just so happy for me. And I was like, this is crazy because these people don't even know the laws like we know it, but they was just so happy. And it just made me even more happier. And so I really enjoyed that. And then the name Israel, this is another comment, is so strong. When I had went to my second job and they said the same thing that I had my name changed. And so my sister, she said, well, what's your last name? And I said, Israel, because I always just put Nayari. I never put the last name. So, well, it don't require.
No, I just mean,
oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. And so the sister said, Israel, she said, I had a cousin that was married to a brother. She called him Elisha. I said, Elisha? She said, yeah, that's him. I was like, well, hallelujah, the world is short. And so now every time I come in and she looks at me, I guess in his life, and I'm like, that's my family. I just told her I never got the chance to meet him, but I would love to because I've always heard great things. And I told her that, he has memories left behind on YouTube and feel free to watch them and, all type of things. And I gave her some of that knowledge. And my job, everybody at my job, or like some people already called me Nayari, so they already, pretty much up to par with how to pronounce it. But then other people was like, okay, now I've always struggled with how to say it. So every day they've been like having me to prep them. Say to the white people, they're like, okay, let's stand together. And so and all day, that's what we've been doing, practicing how to say my name, because they're like, this is something big for you, and I want to title you with your right name. And so it's just been a blessed week and a great feeling. I have many more testimonies, but I'm going to sit still real quick, let somebody else get the floor, and then I'm going to jump back in.
That is an exciting thing.
It is.
I'm glad to hear that.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all in the right place. I'll tell y'all that later. Stuff.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Shabbat shalom, Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I am very glad that I woke me up this morning. And blessed to be here and see I got one perfection I did with y'all. And I would just like to say that I too want to praise Yahweh for change. Because change can be a very good thing. And he's put me on a path of change that is life saving and that has many great spiritual benefits. And that is just wonderful. That's the way that he intended things to be. And of course we're not all perfect, all that stuff, but Yahweh knows the intent of our heart. And he sees the ones that are really trying to happen. And so I'm going to praise Yahweh for his mercy, because it does endure forever. And that's a great gift that he has given us. His name, his mercy, his love, his compassion, his kindness. It's a wonderful thing to know that even when we out wherever we may be, in the midst of what we're in the midst of, that we know that we are special because of who we are and also whose we are.
Hallelujah.
One else? Yes, ma'am.
Look at it.
Fight today.
What are you doing up there?
All praise and honor and glory to our mighty, mighty Yah. My son saw something and he texted. It had been on the internet thing for like 3 days. When I saw it, I put in an offer. The next day, it was accepted. I put in my earnest money yesterday. I will be able to help the congregation, which is my name reason, for getting this particular piece of land. If we have someone that comes and visits, there's a guest house on the property. If you guys find organic seeds to add with my organic seeds, there's a plot for my piece of land. They have a chicken coop with 8 stalls where I can furnish fresh eggs. My son and his wife know people that will be able to help me get the chickens at a price less than $30 for the hen, $5 for the little piece. And I wanted this, well, I wanted another piece first, but I got shut down for that one. And I was sharing with the brother there. It was a wonderful place and more local to here. But I'm hoping that this will be a blessing, not just because y'all miraculously blessed me to receive something that's been on property for less, on the internet for less than a week. And I thank y'all for opening the door and making it happen. And I hope for your prayers and your blessings and your encouragement as the rest of the process goes forward. And I also praise God for blessing me with life, with health, with strength, and having the support that I have of those that are around me here, as well as those that I live with for the short time I'm going to be there. And I just thank God for everything that you're teaching me about trusting you, because in the past, times before, for me to fully put the weight of trust on what I wanted and hoped for and couldn't touch or see. And I thank God for increasing my trust in Him and showing His awesomeness, that He can move mountains in a short period of time.
Hallelujah.
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 Yes.
Shalom, family.
Shalom.
Praise, glory, and honor belongs to Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
I just want to praise God for being Yahweh. Always. True and living Elohim. And all pride and prayers and supplication. And also take us through a trial and tribulation. And this week I've been, not this week, but I've been reading the words of Yahweh. And I said to myself that every day, I would read the word so I can see what I don't understand, so I can come to the class with a question. For each day of the week. But each day that I went through the scriptures and conjured up a question that I, felt like that I did not understand or know, I started reading. And I started got out my concordance. Praise God for my concordance. It's just a big book, it's full of knowledge and words and, and whatever that wondering about and the wisdom that you try to find, within the word you can find it, in the concordance. So I praise God for that. But every time I went to the concordance, I would find a word and I would have my question answered. So I had to take that question away. So then the next day I said, I'm going to get another question. So I took that question away because I answered that question. And I want to praise God because He said, that you asked us if we're righteous, so I'm going to say that I'm righteous. So Yahweh says that the righteous study to answer. So I praise God for that, for just giving me the knowledge to study, to answer the questions that I want, more clarification on, and then to know that He's given me this will to go to open up this book to seek Him. So I praise God that I am, that I have the will and everything that He gives me to try to seek Him out. So I praise God for that. I just praise God for being Yah and just all that He does for us, and just knowing that He is real, and everything that we go through is real. So it has to be a solution to our problems, because our problems just can't always just linger on and be problems if we don't try to find the solution to them, which is in our scriptures, whether we want to believe it or not. So I praise God for wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Hallelujah. I found a question.
You found one. All right.
I want to ask.
All right.
Wait.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, a few weeks ago, I had
Young man, Edward. Yes, ma'am.
well, a few weeks ago, I had spoke on the situation with my sister that I was having about the issue about the lies that was being told on me and everything. So I feel like I handled that very very well. I think I did. When I was handling it the way that I was handling it, I was feeling good about it because I know, how I could have reacted to everything that was going on and everything. I took the advice of you, Moray, and my husband, and I talked to her alone, with nobody else around, because that was not my plan. I'm not gonna lie, it was not my plan, but I did that. I waited till the moment that, that we was in a good place with each other. My daughter's graduation was over and everything. I still waited a days after that still to let everything, that day. And then I was at my mother's house when I talked to her. But I took her in the hallway, we spoke about everything, and I thought that things had got resolved there. I felt like it should have just stayed right there in the hallway. Everything was resolved. We got it out and everything. But it ended up turning into something else. It went totally south. But I still handled that. I still handled it great. And when I woke up this morning, we was listening to that song, did I? And something just came up because even after everything that happened, I still love my sister. I still love her. That ain't gonna change. My heart ain't gonna change because of some words that she said. I'm hurt that you were saying those, but my heart ain't gonna still change for how I feel about you. So something came over me, and I texted her, and I told her, despite everything that happened, just smile up this morning, and I still love you. Despite anything that's gonna go on, I still love you. So she texted me back, and she said, I know you do, and I love you too. That was it.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. What's going on, man? All right.
This morning, so I think we had service Sunday. I be praising God with everything God really do. We had done so much. Everybody some good stuff, and when I wake up this morning, everything. Elders is here. Everything is praising God. So hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Elder Four.
Oh,
Both Elder Four. Hello, Elder Four and Elder Four.
Shabbat shalom with Camp family, giving all praise to the Most High. To your face, for no other reason. There's so much going on, and I thank the Most High for safe travels and all. But when a coach just brought up about the land, I had I'm just going to, if you can read it later. Adult has talked to us about land. Elijah Muhammad years ago bought a farm in Georgia, over 4,800 acres. But the Muslims got a farm. They are selling and producing their own food in Georgia. It's crucial. Food is being more used as a war out here. Yeah. And we just got to pay attention and know what's going on. On a sadder note, it says reverse of fortune. They are taking elders' homes because they went into reverse mortgages without knowledge. It is crucial that we get education. See, the brother said, if you want to hide something, but we got to be readers. And there is an all-out war right now with most newspapers in America against Facebook and Google, because they're putting their content on there. I'm not getting all of that, but we got to read and we got to educate. I got some handouts for later. But what happened, one elder, because he didn't pay his homeowner's insurance, that's how he got caught. Or the property tax. You may own a home, you may be drawing the equity out, but you must keep stuff current. If it is not current, they use against you what you don't know. And he didn't realize it, and then they switched banks on him. They bought it. Then the other bank bought it. Next thing he knows, and we must consider our elders. We must consider them. We have to consider them. And what I mean by consider them is stuff that they owe us, and it's stuff we owe them. What we owe them is all the stuff going on out here in technology. They may not get down to the mortgage company. Keep up to date with the property that hopefully you hope to inherit. So that is true too. And then there's homelessness among our black people and student loans. They're living in their cars. They can't even afford. They're not necessarily on the street. But, you know, this whole gimmick, and I know people ain't gonna like that. I'm just at a conference. College, if you got a mission, fine. You ain't necessarily got a direct mission. You enter into this borrowing their money, even though it's the taxpayers' money, they calling it their money. You must go in it understanding rules. It's rules. And then last but not least, y'all hear the sellout on the radio. You can win. And my husband. But AC, DC, they're third on getting the money. See, because they've been lying all along. But the business scurrying, they're third. And this is the top 25 people in their advocacy for the money and how it's spread. But that's just a sidebar. But when they be hollering about the money on there, it don't be a lie. And this one is about the water. The overseer of 8 states who is monitoring the water system, they are now saying that overseer is going to be an option now if the states want it. But Ohio is up there for the word water. And so you can read for it. It's in the Daily Beat. You can read up on it. But there is a way to combat that. And Brother Yemuel in the third month was with me at the Gun and Night show where the sister saw me. And there are water systems out there. But the water, they're starting to use water as a weapon. The Most High is stirring the pot. The pot is getting full with a lot of stuff because you got to bring America to its knees. It's part of the prophecy. So I'm just glad to see everybody. I just want us to stay alert. Our children, you know, it's a weapon. Now, every time they say there's another case of measles, they're tightening the screws. So homeschooling is the way, but I'll leave that alone. All praise. Thank you for indulging me, Tom. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate it.
But food has never just been come a weapon.
Yes.
And some things, as I study scriptures, and I'm not gonna go too far, I'm just gonna make a comment behind what you're saying. That's why there's a way in which the Almighty, as I study scriptures, is giving me to teach. Because as Sister Bia said earlier, all our solutions to all our problems is right here. And what people are doing to us in this age have been done to us before. Mm-hmm. Creator says, and you don't have to turn there, I'm just, the Almighty said of 2 nations, and they were not white, they were black. And that's why I said things that are done to us have been done to us before. in Deuteronomy 23, and I'll start at verse 3. He said, the Ammonite and the Moabite should not enter into the congregation of Yahweh. Now, somebody you gotta understand why. Like I said, it wasn't because they were white, because they were black. It wasn't because they were this or what you think about them personally. The reason why is because of this. He said they should not enter, even to the 10th generation, they should not enter into the congregation of Yahweh forever. And then he said, but here's my reason. And this is why, and I know people don't want to get beyond it, but you have to get beyond it. I'm not caught up on colorization. Because I understand race, and I understand race to be, as they give it to us, that's just, and we get ready to get into something where we'll show that. That's a modern, simplistic way of doing things. Black, white, brown, because really that's not race. That's colorization. That don't have nothing to do with race. That's colorization. You a black man. You a brown man. You a yellow man. You a red man. Show me red land, black land, yellow land. This was a way in which they could quantify people on a simplistic level. And they have a reason. And I'll show you why they simplistically wanted to quantify people. But he said that these particular groups should not enter into even to their 10th generation. He said, for when you came out of Egypt, they met you not with bread, lekim, and water, ma'im. Meaning that in the heart of anybody that's good, and righteous, and right, and in the spirit of a right-minded person, you always want to try to give somebody the tools in which they need if they're trying to build themselves up.
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Yes, sir.
See, this is another reason why we know we're in the land, people will get upset. But this is another reason why you know you're in the land of your enemy.
Yes, sir.
Not only your enemy, you're in the land of a person, as the Almighty said, a people that's not a people, a nation that's not a nation, in the land of wicked people.
Yeah.
I'm a big encourager, and y'all know it by now. I'm huge on what? I'm gonna see who know me. My own children don't even know. They should throw it out their mouth. Y'all don't know me like y'all think y'all do. I'm a huge proponent of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Y'all hear me say it every week. But that don't mean that I direct people. I have a young man, he's growing. And part of my overseeing him and looking upon him is to see his character. There is a school I want him to go to, but this school I want him to go to, it's all black. And they promise to take care of him financially. Meaning he don't have, it won't be a, and they have done it because it won't, so that when the kids leave, it won't be a burden that they bearing when they come out. And that's why I told him, even against what he want to do. Because he sees some other schools that he be smiling and grinning. And we got to, and we talk about it. And I tell him, I'm telling you this, one, because been there, done that, went to a school of higher learning, took federal dollars that when I became a working person and I owed him, and it was in a certain status, the man said, well, hook or crook. That little thing you signed where it told you get this refund? That ain't your refund. We get most of that this year. So I'm looking, I'm saying, what? I'm working, essentially, I am a slave. Essentially, I am a slave. I am in debtor's prison. Because you gonna get, what you telling me is, you gonna get yours. Paid in full. It's one of the only entities that if you file and declare federal bankruptcy, you can't even get better through that. See, I already know what you're talking about, sis. You can't even get that discharged. You can get everything else off of there. Say, this still on there, chief. You still owe us. So now you done filed federal bankruptcy that kicks you in the tail for 7 to 10 years, and you have a student loan debt. Because see, that's why I said knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's what it's not really that we don't read. We don't seek and get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what we're dealing with. And that's why the Almighty said, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Because I got a little small book that's helping me out on my journey. I'm repairing it now, changing some things I need to change, but I got a little small book, real thin. Dude is, and he done boiled it down on how the credit game really works. And it's a little small book, and he shows where you kill them. See, a lot of people going at it, because I was. But you going at it and attacking it the wrong way. But with now, he show how you kill it like a snake. Take the head off. And you especially rewrite your own history. I'm going to bring it to y'all on New Moon. Yeah, because I'm going to help the class.
Hallelujah.
I'm going to help the class. I'm going to help the class. And see, the way we do it, ain't that, I won't say wrong, but it's not effective. This can be, depending on where you at, this is effective as you want it to be. Month, 3 months, 1 year, but it's effective because it's got, and what I'm talking about, I know most of us in here don't know it because I didn't know how it's even reported. Who reports it? Huh? We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Oh, it can. It can. Oh, it can. That's what I said, with knowledge. With knowledge. We're gonna get it, y'all. Huh? But then the Almighty said something else to us. As he closed this out, he said, because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when you came forth out of Egypt. And that's why you can understand. Why you can understand all of this goes together. That's why you can understand that more young women enter into the halls of colleges today than more young black men. You go on college tours, the black women and the black young girls out of high school far outweigh the number of black young men that's on these college tours. And it's understanding. Gotta say it. I gotta say it. There's always exceptions. And some of the brothers, they might not like it. But in growing up, the feminine mind tends to become more settled and more mature before the masculine mind. See, most young men won't appreciate knowledge, wisdom, and understanding as quick as women do. So young girls in school, they're looking to do their schooling, and they grasp it quicker than the guys, because the guys are looking at the bouncing ball, the toys. The toys. And this is also their avenue into higher learning. You get this scholarship if you're
gonna make us more money.
if you do these things. And that's why the majority of young men are out there. The majority of sisters are somewhere higher learning. Then what I create after that is I create this rift between you and her because you are the streets, and I done put her on higher learning, and I tell her, you a little too good for him.
You need the white man. Come on, tell him the truth.
And he don't live up to your standards. He's not on your level. So don't mess with him. You can do bad all by yourself, which you can't. Anybody can. But this is the mind of division that they give. Where now you don't even seek to know. Well, yeah, maybe he's not. Because like I said, these guys, these brothers, shame on what they're doing, but they're not dummies. Because like I said, if you could take and weigh powder and rocks on scales and mix chemicals together, which is chemistry, and come up with some stuff that I don't even have, and I call myself educated, and I don't even, you sit me down, I'm like, what is grams? And these young fellas are talking about grams and this and packaging stuff and this and know what a gram is, know it, and you sitting there like, and you calling them dumb, but you sitting there like, what? Don't know what a gram is. Don't know what it is. Then not only that, they take it and they start, because I watch these shows or something, and you just can't get caught up with what you got to see it for what it is. I watch them how some of these guys took this thing and made a street organization in these broke down communities, right in the projects, right in the living room of their mother, and they cutting stuff and they said, well, here's what we do. We the top. And then we gonna go out and find us some people that work under us. And they gonna do this. Then we gonna bring some people in under them that's gonna do this. Then we gonna bring some people in under them that do this. Then we gonna bring some people in all the way till it get down to the street level to do this. Brothers and sisters, that was just the building of a business. An illegal, wicked business, but it was the building of a business. Nevertheless, they had a mind to build a business. Do y'all hear me? So how dumb are they? They're not very dumb at all. It's just that they misguided. But they ain't dumb at all.
No matter. That New Jack City?
They ain't dumb at all. So don't look at them and just automatic all the way tank them and say, man, they dumb. No, they ain't dumb at all. They misguided. And they working with what they think they have to work with and the tools that they've been given. That's what they doing. American Gangster, he had help. Build his business. They show you him. They locked him up, but he had help. Came all the way back from being nice and man, how we get this? He said, man, that stuff is popular over there. How can I get it through customs and get it back in the United States? Well, he said, he started seeing all them coffins come by. Mine said, see, you put that in that coffin. Right. Straight that flag over it. Put it on that plane. They send it back. You think you getting back, because customs say you getting back the body of a deceased soldier. And you are. But when they roll him over a little bit, they pull it right out. And took that what they need, and then they shipped him back off to his family. And he had help from the United States government. Because they knew about it. These boys, when they launch, they think they have help. That's why I said they misguided.
The government happy they have to give it back. Keep us.
And they do it because, and they have help. And they do it, that's why I tell you all the time. People know. This is deeper than what we even think. Like going back to what I said, and I said I wasn't gonna be long. Going back, see, when they cheered you because maybe not them, but higher up. The world know who in their midst.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
We don't know. We don't realize the scope of things.
Come on.
But the world know who in the midst. So as you start reclaiming this,
Not as a problem.
and when I say they know, and I taught the other week. Remember I taught the other week? Deuteronomy 28. It's about change. It wasn't just all physical. It was about changing the complete nature of a person.
Yes.
The complete nature. And they do that even now. That's why y'all might say in the 5th verse, he said, nevertheless, Yahweh the Elohim would not listen because, let me finish that. Because they met you not with bread and water when you came forth out of Egypt, and because they also hired against you Balaam, the son of Beor, of Pethor, of Mesopotamia, to curse thee. Well, they still got people, the wicked still got people in their service today to curse you. To try to curse you, to try to keep you from the blessing. Because they know who you are. They still doing this today, the wicked. Nevertheless, Yahweh would not listen to them. He would not listen to Balaam. But Yahweh the Elohim turned the curse into a blessing unto thee. And he did so because Yahweh the Elohim loves you. That's the power you have when you have the Almighty with you. That in the midst of them trying to curse you, he'll turn their curse into a blessing. But that power is determined on how we are with him. But then he says this, and this is what I want us to hear. I was at a graduation with my son. I heard one young man. He was just one, but I heard him. He was like, my dream. And I said, and I'm not trying to be bad on him. But I know because I was there. He said, my dream. He said, I want to be a big football player. Make millions of dollars. That way, you heard that? And make millions of dollars. You see? And that's his dream. Because as I said, and I agree with it. They were talking about the message was being world changers. Well, being world changers don't happen necessarily because you have a lot of money. Matter of fact, you tend to blend in with the world. Being world changers don't happen because you're famous. Matter of fact, you probably done blended into the world. Being world changers really happens, truthfully, when you rock the status quo. Y'all did. I might have to call on y'all for some sunshine. Y'all did. Again, I said being world changes happens when you rock what's established already.
Yes, indeed.
I tell y'all that because in this room, y'all don't even know it. Y'all world changed.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
When you change your name, you change not only your work, but you change the complexion of everything around you. That's why them people was cheering. Hey,
That's right.
you change the complexion. Now the thing you have to do is live up to that standard. But you changed. You didn't even realize you changed the complexion
Oh, yeah.
of your life for the rest of your days and everything around you.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. That's good to hear.
To where it's easy to do this, to come back to this is world changing. To come back to what life essentially is world changing. To understand the message of the Most High Yah is world changing. To flee out of Babylon as he had told us, not in body, but in spirit and mind, is world changing.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
And that's why he said, in closing this out, thou shalt not seek when you know the enemy and can recognize the enemy and know where you're at. The Almighty said something very peculiar. He said, you shall not seek their prosperity. See, their prosperity. Like I said, hear me and hear me so I can be clear. I'm huge on knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But that's their way of getting it when they tell you, go through elementary, go through junior high, go through high school, go through college, go through grad school, go through this school. So you can keep, go through all that, but what they ain't telling you is, and when you go through that, we heaping more and more and more and more dollars on you.
Money game.
See, that's why I said now I'm not caught up with that. I've been on a job where I'm making more than a person that just graduated out of college. I worked a job. Office Depot. Driving forklift. Made about 14 on the hour. And I'm talking with people that worked on the other part of the assembly line, which is just a line going around. They made $8. And I'm talking to black, but mostly white. And they said, man, I'm struggling. See, this ain't new. Hey, man, I'm struggling. I'm here making $9 picking. Man, I just graduated from UC. My jaw like,
Well, right.
I just flunked out at Xavier. And not even years, half semester. That was enough for me. See, I have, and I don't mind saying, I said, don't take this the wrong way. See, there's some things, I'm going to listen and defer, but I have a brother. And he was always, if you want to say school, he was always smarter than me. When he got ready to graduate, there was things coming in the mail out the wazoo from all over the colleges. I mean, he had a box. We just throw them in, I graduated. You had to go find the family check. Boy Scout didn't even send me nothing. How bad it was. But that's why I tell people, to this day, I'm eternally grateful that the Almighty came in my life. Because I have learned more since having Yah than I learned in any years of formal schooling. I never studied like I studied until the Almighty came in my life. I went through 12 years of school just getting by. Just barely getting by. Like I said, I didn't even want to open up the thing. Kids run across stage, opening up their diploma little book, showing it in the. I just grabbed mine when they gave it to me and walked back to my seat like, ooh, we praying about this. Got to the seat and picked in there like, oh, okay, we got it. That was close. Open it up and blank. What I did? Nah. But when I got out of school, and when the Almighty came and got me, like I said, downtown at the library, 3rd floor, they knew me. The security guard knew me. The librarian knew me. I was there every single day. To the point now where, and that's why I don't have to be, that's why I can be a certain way. My family don't discount what I know because they don't believe it. I come to the realization they discount what I know because they know I know what I know. And they know the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding on a lot of things that I have. They know it's for sure. That's why they won't even engage me. They won't even engage me in meaningful conversation. They'll dismiss me. They'll call me crazy. They'll say this. They'll say I'm in a cult. But they won't engage me in a meaningful sit-down conversation. You bring your witness and I bring mine. They won't do that. Even my big brother, he won't do it. I said, let's talk about it. I said, okay. All right. They won't discuss. But the Almighty has told me something. He says, seek not their peace. He didn't say don't seek peace. Because in Jeremiah, he told us to seek peace. He says, seek not their peace. Because their peace is not peace. And then he said, nor their prosperity all the days of your life. Don't go after prosperity the way they telling you prosperity. Don't listen to them tell you you're successful. The way they define success. You have to let the Almighty define what's success. Many people would have said Joseph was a bum, was a criminal, because he stayed in the dungeon in Egypt. Many people would have cast Joseph out, because for a while he stayed in trouble. But in his season, Joseph was given the reins to Egypt. Only man above him was Pharaoh himself. Thank you, sir. In other words, nobody defines whom you are except the Most High and yourself. Nobody has that right. Nobody has that power. Your will is between you and the Most High. And I don't care what they say about you. I don't care what they think about you. I don't care what labels they put on you. Nobody can define your reality except Yahweh and you. And when you understand that, then you understand what life is about. Hallelujah. And very little people have power over you. Little sister, go ahead. I hope you held on to it. Little sister, yeah. He said, man, he done talked for half hour. You don't call me now. You got me. Hallelujah.
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 And I wrote first a story. No, not a story. I wrote a great section. Mom, you are my everything. Mom, I love you. Mom, you've been there for me. Now that it's time. Mom, you should know that you have love in your life. Mom,
Mom, you're gonna have the best birthday ever. Mom, your favorite color is red. Mom, your favorite flowers are lilies. Mom, you do everything when your birthday comes up. Stop working and Mom, I did all this for you. My honey, my dear, my sweet loving mom. You are the love of my life. Hallelujah.
You know, by the time they picked up. But I've gotten something like that. It'll move you. And to have a thought. Well, yeah, son. But female. I come up and say, hey. Or she'll say, I can tell in the voice what's going on. Huge. That's huge.
Yes,
It is huge.
yes. That's what you delight.
No, you into blue.
That's my copy. I don't know what's going on. It's got a mind of its own.
No, I'm gonna put it
And that's my copy. I don't
Your
even.
Huda Blue,
I done changed all the cartridges and everything.
No, really?
It just said, this is what you can work with. It said, this is what we working with, Chief.
That's why we had it.
But that is.
But that, you know, my kid told me today, they said, you know, tomorrow is Father's Day. I said, the only thing, what you want? I said, the only thing I want from you, don't have one. Yeah. They can use mine. They can use mine. The only thing I want is, again, knowing what's what. I don't need no shoes from you. One say, I'm gonna get you a knife. I don't need no. What I need from you, biggest gift you is your love, your respect, your attention, your listening and doing what I instruct you to do in righteousness. You do those things. That mean more to me than anything you can give me. That's what I want from you. That's all I want from you. All that other stuff, I done had it. Do have it. And if I want it, I know how to go get it.
I know that.
You give me something greater than all the rest of that. That's what you do. And that is become what I'm trying to get you to become in righteousness. That's the greatest gift. That's a gift that stay with me all lifetime, and then even when I go the way of all flesh, I'll be able to go with ease of mind, with a greater ease of mind. So that's what you do for me. Was there any other comments before I take Sister V's question, and then I have a question up here. That's why you got those hands out.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat shalom. All praises, all glory to the Holy One of Israel by saying hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I just want to give thanks and praise to the Most High God for waking us up this day, blessing my family, for looking over us all and keeping us safe and out of harm's way. I just want to thank y'all for my life and the life of those who I love and care about. This week has really been a truly blessed and challenging. And I guess the blessing comes in just realizing and understanding that y'all is in your life and that you are even able to identify when you are being blessed.
Hallelujah.
So I was talking with my friend. He came by this class a couple of times, this little white guy. My Gentile buddy, my brother. And I've known this man for over 20 years. In the 20 years I've known him, these have been some of the best 2-3 months that I can say I've been knowing him. So, but this is the first time that I ever and known him, and he's not on nothing. He ain't on no cigarettes, he ain't on no heroin, he ain't on no coke, he ain't on no pills, he ain't on no dope. And it's a beautiful thing. And we go out every day and we work and we sell and we go up and down. And I gotta admit, back in the day, I was the man. I was the teacher. I was the one showing and leading the day. And you know what? Let me put some money in your pocket. Let me do this. Let me get you going. But that ain't the story today. Today he leading me today. Today he like, look, bro, I just sold 15 of them, 15 apiece. And, you know, I got about 5 left. I'm gonna work on your order. And I'm gonna give you all the money. I ain't gonna keep none of it. I'm gonna give you the whole money. So it's just been a blessing just to see how y'all just been blessing me. Because a lot of things that's been going on, I ain't really had no real outstanding days doing what I've been doing. But I've been having some fair days. And y'all been blessing me in it. From everything, from helping Moray to how Moray was blessing me. I mean, just identifying the blessing and being able to recognize that y'all is moving in my life and I got a blessing in y'all. So I'm just thankful as a blessing when I can see one. So hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes, ma'am. And then I'll get the question at the time.
I want y'all to all pray for me and support me. This is my day 7 of no meat.
I must say, these have been a little. Let me make one more comment. One more comment. A while ago, I talked to my brothers. You know, my brother, he just lost his mom and his dad. And I was talking with his aunt one day. We was really going through this when I was going through Prime American and I was really complaining. I was really just going through some things. And I was talking about my wife. And my aunt, she told me, she said, brother, she said, just relax. Do you worry about doing you and take care of what you need to take care of. Because you got everything you need. You just don't see it yet. But you got what you need, you just don't see it. So I said, all right. I quit complaining about everything that she was doing. And I sat back. And I just been sitting back, twiddling my thumbs, and I just been sitting back. And sure enough, man, praise Yahweh. Everything has been happening from how serious she done got about running the little candy store business that we got, you know, to making sure we get money coming in on that, make sure that that's running good. So even to the point now where she just, like, I'm gonna do 30 days and see how I like not eating no meat. And I adjust it from there. But she just been making outstanding feats in everything, and attitude and character. I mean, it's just so much she's been doing, and I'm just so thrilled and I'm just thankful. I had to tell her the other day, you know, like I really appreciate all that you do, and I really enjoy watching your growth. And that, like I said, it is just a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to recognize a blessing when God's blessing you to be in the presence of a blessing. So I'm just thankful, and I just give y'all all the praises and all the glory because it's only in y'all we're going to have our strength, we're going to have our blessing and our trust in Him, the more He's going to continue to reveal and bring things to the light. So, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I praise you, brother, for praising your queen.
And that's why and I know we talked about it a few weeks ago, and that was part of the message. Marriage, and when marriage happens, it's not the end of a journey or the journey, it's the beginning of the journey. And it's not the end of growth. Nobody is finished or a finished product. It is the beginning. And as I always said, when the problem that's there is you can either grow together or grow apart. Because
Yes, sir.
you're gonna grow.
Yes, sir.
But some people grow together. And that makes for a fruitful union. Other unions, somebody grow, and somebody growth is stunning. And they find themselves growing apart. And you always want to pray. You know, like I said, even when you find that person in courting and everything, you always want to pray that you found the right person to grow with in life.
Amen.
Not that y'all done growing, you found the right person to grow with in life. To go through life changes, ups and downs, toss and turns, that you can go through that with them. Because you're going to have them. But sometimes you just don't find the right person to go through them ups and downs, turn around, for rich or poor, all that good stuff. You don't find the right people, link up with the wrong person. And other times, this is the real. Sometimes people do what they call regress. And that's kind of one of the harder things when they regress, when they go backwards. And we're talking about regret. Well, the Almighty said his people went backwards. We regress. So yes, it's possible for a person to regress. And you try to hope that they come out of that regression. But if they keep on rolling in reverse and you rolling in forward, you gotta let it just pop. But I'm glad, because I know both of them, and I'm glad to see and there was words of wisdom. Because in the end, even though being married, and even though I know it says you want bone of my bone, flesh of my, in the end, you're still only accountable for yourself. Ika still only accountable for Ika. Sister Net still only accountable for Sister Net in the sight of Yah.
Hallelujah.
You encourage one another, but y'all, you are you and you are you. But I'm glad to see you making a stride. This is day 7. That means there's a double portion of meat over there for Brother Aaron. So I'm going to encourage you more and more. No, I'm playing. More than me. Let every man, I'm a man, let every man like Paul be a vegetarian. I hit that table one and graves and bones flying. No, I'm playing. Sister Via, please, your question. All right, I know Sister Via said first.
I got questions. But
Yes.
I'm gonna let her go first for the question.
Yes. Yeah, I want the questions all together. So.
Okay. Our praise to God again.
Yeah.
For my second testimony was I was speaking to me and an elder at my first job. We always clung since we first started, and so she always tell me about how I've grown and whatnot, and we always share scriptures and things, even though she is a Christian. And so recently she was saying that she had ran into someone. And she had asked me about fringes. She said, I wanted to ask you about something. I said, look, I saw somebody and they had on the strings. Well, she called them strings. I said, what color was it? She said, white. I said, did it have blue on it? She said, what you mean by blue? And I went to grab for my fringe and my fringe wasn't on me. I said, and I was like, oh my God, my fringe. And so I told her, I said, well, since, I don't have mine, I said, but, and I sent her 2 numbers and told her, that it was a law. And so the next day we talked about it again, and she was like, because she was really curious. And so I said, I got them on today, sis. I went home and got them on my break. I said, because that's how strong I am, and I got to have them on. And she said, I didn't know that was a law. And so it was just nice, to be able to, it's very nice to be able to share words of scripture, to anybody, but it's nice when I can always share things that she might have or wasn't aware of. So I want to give praise to y'all for that. And then my husband, I call him my Boaz now. We're working on something new. But
to want that name in the family. They all love it, but even boy. But go ahead.
My old ass this morning, I'm out in the car, I'm singing praising God, and I had thought about it. I ran in the house to grab something, and my she was finishing up. And so he was like, praise God. You know, he just got real excited. Praise God, praise God. And I'm like, you know, he was like, White, come here. And I'm like, you know, what's going on? So I was like, what's up? What's wrong? You know? And he was like, just praise God. And I'm like, okay, praise God. What's going on? You know? And he was like, guess. I'm like, I can't guess. I don't know which way to take it. You know? He was like, he put on his dress shoes, but he had more of his dress shoes since we went to North Carolina. But when we came back from North Carolina, I lost my wallet. And I lost $220 plus in that wallet. My husband found the wallet was in his shoes.
Just step right into that blessing. Thank you very much.
That sister was so destructive. Oh man, that sister was told up in North Carolina about that wallet.
She was crushed.
Man, she was told up.
But and not the crazy thing about that day was I was having a birthday ever. I was seeing the poor little Bonnie, and it was just things just kept happening back to back. I said, what is going on? But today to receive that blessing, mind you, my birthday is 2 days away. I was like, well, thank you, God. I'll take that birthday kid. You know? So it was really nice. I call that my little kiss from God. You know? So hallelujah. But I had to share that. I was like, you know, that's
Where's your question?
Where's your question?
Oh, she gonna get.
Oh, I got you want me to? Sure. Okay. I'll bring speak out again. This question came to me, and so I met a sister through my sister. And Yas will, I knew she couldn't come today, but Yas will, she'll be here next Shabbat. She has so many questions. I had to tell her, I said, well, sis, I can only answer so much. You know, I'm not a spiritual leader, and I would prefer to make sure that your questions are answered correctly. So I told her about you, and she was like, what do you look like? What do you look like? But she kept asking me so many questions. I never got around to show her a video or anything of what you look like.
Don't scare her.
She was bombarding me with questions. She said she has lists and lists of questions. And so one of her questions was, how do you keep the Sabbath entirely? And then that's her question. Another question was from someone else. I'm sorry, was from me. I'm sorry, I was studying this morning. And okay, so I'm just reading Deuteronomy 5:22. It says, these words Yahweh spake unto all your assembly in the mountain, out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness with a great voice. And he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone and delivered them unto me. And so I want to say I've had someone ask me this question before, and I'm not quite certain how I may have answered it, but I want to make sure going forward, if I, since I'm getting more people that's questioning me, and, I'm really being put out there as that light, what is the difference between a commandment, statute, judgment, ordinance, and the precept? So because I always tell folks, it's more than just commandments. We have laws, and we have this, and we have that. And so when I speak to them on that, I want to properly be able to break it down, like, this is for this is for that, this is for this, and this is why we do this, and this is why we do that, and things like that. So I could have did the research like my good sister back here, but it came upon me earlier today. And so I didn't study on that. I ended up studying something else. So hallelujah.
All right.
Hallelujah.
Yes, ma'am. Sister V.
All praise to the mighty Yahweh.
Hallelujah.
And all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I listen when we listen these Hebrew music, and the one, the Hebrew brothers that, make the music. And I just sometimes listen to, some of the words that they be saying, and, and what I'm trying to sing, and making sure that I'm, it's because I'm singing along. Might not know, trying to get some understanding on that, to making sure that, what we singing about is righteous. Then you see some of the brothers that's been singing to God, the things that they said, they're no longer here. I'll never do this, I'll never do that. But anyway, I was listening to another brother, and I know that, we lay our burdens on Yahweh, we take all of our, concerns and, trial and tribulation to Yahweh. But he said, and I wanted to know where in the scripture, or is it just something that he put in his lyrics? He said that the Son lays his burden on Yahweh. So I wanted to know, my question was, if that was something that he said, what burden does the Son have that they will lay on Yahweh? And is that scripture?
That is
Okay. S-U-N, S-U-N.
Oh, I knew what you
Son.
said.
The Son,
Yes.
S-U-N.
That's what I
That's bringing us now.
I haven't heard that song. Is that local, bro?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, that was,
in the States?
yeah, that was the brother. It wasn't a song. It was, I guess it was spoken word.
Oh,
But it was on a CD.
Oh, okay.
It was on a CD.
Okay.
And I heard, I think it was the weatherman, one of them newscasters. He said that it was 49 movies. And I said, well, why? I didn't know that. He said, he just said, like I said, it's 49 movies. So I was like, wow, what are they?
Along with other planets,
But he didn't, oh,
other planets within the solar system have moons.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why
We know of the, well, we concerned with the lights as they pertain to Earth.
okay.
But that's why even Solomon, and there's nothing to tell you, he just had the Almighty gave him divine wisdom. That's why Solomon said, but how can I build a house to contain you when the heavens and the heaven of heaven cannot contain you? So he very well had knowledge of the celestial and universe that's around him. And the universe that's around us is ever expanding. That's why this man keep making different telescopes and trying to make them bigger and better and see further. Because every time he think he done seen the end of the universe, there's something else that comes up, that opens up. Because nobody, and that's why it's really infinite. Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. Oh boy. Don't let him charm me. So, don't encourage you. So it possibly could be, and it possibly could be more than that. As they get to look at it. So, because the moon is a light, what they call in a scientific term, they call it a satellite as well. It means it's the way it orbits and everything. And it's pertained to this planet. So we probably are saying that each planet, and then this is just our system. There's more systems out there. So if each planet have its own satellite, then there's more of them out there.
I know y'all. All Yahweh's creation.
This is all his creation. It's all his creation. That's why the concept of the that's why it's so great. He is time. He is time eternal. Yeah, he said that Solomon said the heavens with an S of heaven cannot contain you. They can't even contain you. He is time eternal. That's why one of my favorite questions when it said in Bereshit, it said in Bereshit, that's what it is, in beginning. And one of my favorite questions that I often ask people is, when is that? No man can define that. The only one that can define that is the Creator himself.
So in the beginning might not be.
Always said. And then it said when he created the heavens and the earth. But in the beginning, just as it reiterates in Isaiah, in the beginning there was nothing formed of Elohim. There was nothing but Elohim. But nobody knows how many years to put on that beginning.
We say that was the heaven of heaven.
We just say it was time and space.
Right, go ahead.
Like I said, it's too great for me to define. Hallelujah. But we're gonna look into these before the day is out. But I had a question as well from one of my brothers that came in. We discussed it at the last Sabbath, and I told him to send it this week. And I want to deal with that. Actually, he sent me two, and we're gonna get into it because it ties in. The second one ties into yours, Sister Nari, a little bit about the Sabbath day. Did Abraham, Noah keep the Sabbath, even though in the book of Genesis it doesn't mention that they kept the Holy Sabbath? So we're going to tie in, and that'll be tied in with how to keep the Sabbath in its entirety. But the one I want to get to right now is, what does it mean that Abraham was a Hebrew? And then explain Deuteronomy 26:5. Was Yaakov, Abraham was a Hebrew, but it says Yaakov was a Syrian. So what does that mean? Let's go to Deuteronomy 26 chapter. Now, is it that Father Abraham is said to be a Hebrew, but Father Yaakov is said to be a Syrian?
Deuteronomy 26.
Deuteronomy 26.
Hallelujah. Deuteronomy chapter 26, verse 1.
And this was found in the context. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, and it shall be, when thou art come in unto the land which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee for an inheritance and possession, and possesses it, and dwellest therein, that thou shalt take of the first of all the fruit of the earth, which thou shalt bring of thy land, that thy Elohim giveth thee, and thou shalt put it in a basket, and shall go unto the place which Yahweh thy Elohim shall choose to place his name there.
This became one of the pilgrimage feasts. You had to do this at the place that he chose to place his name in the land of Canaan, the land that he gave to us.
And thou shalt go unto the priest that shall be in those days, and say unto him, I profess this day unto Yahweh thy Elohim, that I am come unto the country which Yahweh swore unto our fathers for to give us.
So you go to the priest and you say, I'm come to the country that Yahweh swore to give to my fathers. When you get there, I'm come to the country. Go ahead.
And the priest shall take the basket of thy hand, set it down on the altar of Yahweh thy Elohim, and thou shalt speak and say before Yahweh thy Elohim, a Syrian ready to perish was my father, and he went down into Egypt and sojourned there with a few, and became there a nation, great, mighty, and populous.
So who is this talking about? A Syrian ready to perish was my father. And he went down into Egypt and sojourned there with a few. But there he became a nation, great, mighty, and very popular. Who is this Syrian that is talking about?
I want to say it's Joseph.
What you say, Elder? It's talking about Jacob. It's talking about Yaakov. It's talking about Yaakov, a Syrian, ready to perish. This is what we would say at the Feast of Weeks. A Syrian ready to perish was my father. And he went down in Egypt. Bro, they around what? A Syrian ready to perish? No. We Hebrew. We're not Syrian. Huh? Because you won't know how he is Syrian, right? Because you known him to be a what? Hebrew, right? Well, let's find out. Let's see, as I said, with all you're getting, you understand. To get understanding, let's turn to Genesis chapter 10.
Genesis chapter 10.
Now, remember, I told you something earlier, and I said that race, or shall I say, use the more right term, colorization, is a modern
Genesis chapter 10.
Is a modern invention to quantify people. When I say you black people, all you black people, as if because you black, you monolithic because you black. See, this is what's wrong even with us. We bought into it. I'm coming to find that really it'll be an unpopular thing, but really that's kind of a byword. Black.
It's not a nationality.
Because it don't denote nothing but a color.
All right.
And then you can lump everybody in. See? That's why I said it, and that's why I said pay attention. And if you have been paying attention, how many people can you name that have faced police brutality that have names that's of an African origin? Just making up something like Ubekime or Obaluana or something of that nature. Versus them when they call their name and it's Smith, it's Jones, it's Cotton. It's something that's a direct tie to a descendant of the slave master.
All right.
Why am I saying that? Because that group of people that have that name, that's their cultural name, never had it stripped. This group of people did. So it's proof in the Almighty what He's doing that this group of people have those things befalling them that make them whom He said they are, and not that group of people. Not because they are black. See, we as Israel, no people ain't gonna want to grab it all the way, but we as Israel, we cannot just simply say and think it's happening to all people.
All right.
There is a particular plight that's happening and have been happening to your people, the people of Israel.
All right.
That even if other black nations got caught up in it, they broke those chains years ago. That you and I, as descendants and being true, have not broken to this day.
All right. Go ahead, all right.
See, we talk, as the sister was saying, homeowners, it's easier for a foreigner,
Yes,
even
sir.
being black, to come over and start owning things easier than the descendants of them that's been here for years.
Yes, sir. And we seeing it in the neighborhood.
For years.
And they get tax abatement. They get
Boy,
married.
that's what I'm saying. That's why going into the discussion, it's just easy.
It is.
We get into the ring one,
Yeah.
but it's set up for them to do that.
Yeah.
That is another signal
Yes, sir.
to them that know that there is a difference. Because when we talking, we got to talk in the term, we read it, we got to talk in the terms of Israel. He said peculiar, special, different, set apart nation. Well, then you got to start talking in that term and thinking in that term.
Hallelujah.
People don't want to do that.
Hallelujah. We are.
Because there's certain things that's just affecting and happening to Israel
All right.
more than anybody else. That's why he said it's going to be the day of Yaakov's trouble, Israel's trouble, more than anybody else. Because you're going to see all these other people that were not truly broken be able to break away and flee and go and get out the midst of this, while you be the very ones that stuck here in the hellhole. All just about by your loss. With all the fury, all the hell they can give you, centered right in on you. Because it's already happened. But see, there's colorization, whites. And it's just not just black, whites. That's just a blanket.
Right.
White don't tell me nothing. White don't tell me if you German, if you French, if you Italian, if you white don't tell me nothing.
That's cold work.
That's just a blank. He white. That's why I get into stop getting into what they give you.
That's it.
Hey, all white people. White don't tell me nothing.
All right.
I'm talking about the families of the earth, like the book is saying. That's why they took you away and gave you white, black, red. Red don't tell me nothing. There were over 1,000 different communities of Native Americans. But they reduced them down to red skin.
Right.
But you had the Chickasaw. You had the Blackfoot. You had the Crows. You had the Seminole, Apache, Comanche, all over, and they were all different.
Yeah, they were.
Natives of one country, but they were all different families, different tongue, different land.
Yeah.
Even within the same state, they may have all been in Dakota, but they were different. The Dakotas.
Yeah. They call themselves tribes.
Many of the things you speak in the name at the places and at the tribes in the United States.
Yes,
That's where the name came from. Many of the roads you travel are old roads that were made by the natives. And they started calling them Highway I-64 or I-74 or because they numbered them based on what they were. But these were roads that natives had already been traveling. And in modernization, they got these interstate put on.
Eisenhower in a
But this is too big, they feel. See, this is what the wicked really think about everybody. This is too big, they feel, for the average mind. So we just gonna make it real simple. Where they just talk in terms of black and white and yellow and brown colors. The colored folk. And not call people and recognize people by who they are. And that's by design. That's why, and it's by design because now I'm Israel. That's a people. That's a people. That's a family. That's a nation. All black people? No, I ain't said all black people. Cause that's what I said. I ain't said all black people. I said Israel.
Hallelujah.
Cause yes, some other black people said, "Come, let us cut off the name of Israel from being in remembrance."
That's right.
You wanna cut it off.
That's
What you
right.
wanna do?
Some good.
But let's go. So that you can
Hallelujah.
get a perspective on when they talking about black, white, and see where that came from. Genesis 10.
Chapter 10.
But see now, see how the Almighty breaking down people. Let's go.
Hallelujah. Verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah. Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Because after the flood, everybody got off. There was three classifications of families after the flood. After the flood, there was three classes of classification.
Yes, sir.
And those three classes are
Shem,
either you're from Ham and Hamitic tribes, or Japheth and Japhetic tribes, or Shem and Shemitic tribes. Not Semite tribe, but Shemitic tribe.
Hallelujah.
Not anti-Semitic, it's anti-Shemitic. Go.
And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer,
Gomer,
and Magog,
and Magog,
and Madai,
Medea,
and Yavan,
Yavan,
and Tubal,
Tuval,
and Meshach,
Meshach,
and Tyrus.
Tyrus.
And the sons of Gomer,
Yes.
Ashkenaz,
Oh, we're getting up into Europe now.
and Raphath, and Togarmah.
Yeah.
And the sons of Yavan,
So you're getting up in the high plains of Europe. Now the sons of Yavan around the Mediterranean Sea.
Elisha,
Yes.
and Tarshish,
Yes.
and Kittim,
Yes.
and Dodani.
Yes.
These were the isles of the Gentiles,
Uh-huh.
divided in their lands,
Mm-hmm.
everyone after his tongue.
Now look how the Almighty started talking about breaking up people and breaking up and men. Everyone after his what?
After his tongue.
After his lands, after his tongue, after his families, after their nations.
Hallelujah. And the sons.
Now you start doing that, that broadens the spectrum. Well, who are you? Where you come from? Ain't just telling I'm black. That didn't just well, I'm your feather. I'm this. Nah, it told you met somebody, they're gonna tell you who they are by their land, by their tongue, by their family, by what nation they came out of. So drop down.
Yes, sir.
Same thing with the Hamitic lineage. Go down to verse 20.
Hallelujah.
Look at and you can read. Well, no, go on and read. Cause I want us to see this.
Hallelujah.
Because y'all got that handout in front of you.
Hallelujah. Genesis chapter 10, verse 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Sapta, and Raamah, and Saptijah. And the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod.
And Cush, his son was Nimrod.
He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
And in his days, he was a bad boy. He was a bad boy.
He was a mighty hunter.
A mighty
before Yahweh.
Warrior before the Most High.
Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yah, and the beginning of his kingdom was Babel and Erech.
Now look on your handout because they're there. Erech, Akkad, Babel, or Babel, Calneh, and the land of Shinar. That's all on your handout there.
Out of the
That was the beginning of, in his time, that was the beginning of his kingdom. That's how vast it was. And he went out even from the land of he went out from the land of Assyria. Assyria is on your handout. And he built Nineveh, so he expanded his kingdom. He built Nineveh and the city streets and Kala and Rezin, which is between Nineveh and Kala. The same is a great city. Go ahead. But also out the lineage of Cam was who else? Verse 13.
13. And Mizraim
Mm-hmm.
begot Ludim,
Mm-hmm.
and Ananim, and Lahabim, and Naphtatuim,
Mm-hmm.
and Pathrusim, and Kasluhim.
Because I got a book at home. Because the Egyptian society is a society that's a conglomerate society. When it was founded by many many different tribes. It wasn't founded by no one tribe. It was founded by different tribes, and they warred. They had early wars amongst themselves to unite and become one unified land of Mizraim. It's a hint. See, I said they put hints of truth in all things, even in fictitious things. In the movie King, and when it comes on, it tells about there was a war between tribes.
Yeah.
That's factual. That's factual. Because the Scorpion King is fictitious, but they got it based in reality. The Scorpion is to predate modern Egypt.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Hallelujah. And Pathrusim
As we're seeing.
and Kasluhim,
Mm-hmm.
out of whom came the Philistines.
And now you see how nations are coming out of other nations. Because out of these nations came the Philistine nation.
And Captorim.
Yes.
And Canaan begot Sidon, his firstborn in Heth.
And Heth. You'll see it on your handout, the land of Heth. Go ahead.
And the Jebusites.
Uh-huh.
And the Amorites.
Uh-huh.
And the Girgasites.
Uh-huh.
And the Hivites.
Yes.
And the Arcanites.
Yes.
And the Sinites.
Midnight.
And the Arvadites.
Yes.
And the Zemarites.
Yes.
And the Hamathites.
And Hamathite.
And afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad.
And they the family of the Canaanites. Why? Because all these families inhabit what land? Canaan. So they all different families, but they inhabit the land of Canaan. So they all known as Canaanites. So Amorites on a bigger scale are known as Canaanites. Jebusites on a bigger scale known as Canaanites. Hamathites on a bigger scale known as Canaanites. Because they all families inhabiting a land called the land of Canaan.
Wow.
Hallelujah.
Because people are known again by their what?
Family, name,
Tongue,
nation,
land, and land. Keep reading.
Verse 19. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou comest to Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah, and Admah, and Zebim, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham, after their families,
After their families,
after their tongues,
after their tongues,
in their countries,
in their countries,
in their nations.
in their nations. Now keep reading.
Verse 21. Unto Shem.
Now unto Shem. Now watch.
Also.
Now don't go too fast because there's something I want us to see.
Hallelujah.
Unto Shem also.
The father of all the children of Eber.
The father. Note what it says first, and then we're going to come back to it. He says, unto Shem also So this is the Shemitic line. The father of who?
Of all the
Of
children
Ebir.
of Ebir.
Now and he's the father of what? All the children of who?
Ebir.
Of Ebir. All right? Now keep reading. He's the brother of Japheth the elder.
The elder, even to him were children born.
So even unto Shem, who is the father of all the children of Ebir, were born children. And his children were
Shem, Elam, Asher, Arphaxad, and Lud, and Aram.
And Amram. So you see Amram, or you see something on your handout with Amram in it? You should.
Yeah.
You should. Where it says Amram. Do you see something that says Haran?
Yeah.
Huh? Because Haran is the same place that's going to be established as Pandan Aram, which is Aram Nahar. What's that? Nahar Arim. Between the two Amram, between the two rivers, is how that's translated. But Shem is the father of Elam, who is the father of Ashir, who is the father of Fasad, who is the father of Lud, and he's the father of Amram. And the children of Amram is what? Us, Hul,
and Gaither, and Mash.
Now, does Us mean anything to any of y'all?
Where my father.
Does Us mean anything to y'all?
Us.
I just said it.
Job.
Job. That's why Job is said to predate Israel. It's an old book because there was a man of the land of Uz.
Job. Hallelujah.
It's the same Uz. It's an old book. Keep going, brother.
And Arphaxad begot Salah.
Now, Arphaxad, he's the son of who? Arphaxad is the son of who? Of Shem. So that's Shem's son. But Arphaxad begot who? Salah.
And
Salah
beget Ebir.
Now, let's get it. Let's hit it. Because it said that Shem was the father of all what?
The
children of who?
Ebir.
But Ebir is not his direct descendant.
No.
Ebir is his great-grandson.
All right.
Because Arphaxad is his son. Salah is his grandson. And Ebir is his great-grandson. So why the book say he's the father of all the children of Ebir? It's the same way the book said that David is the father of kings, even 10 generations removed from him.
Right.
Because here it's talking and establishing, I told you, it's talking and establishing lineage, not country. It's establishing lineage. So that's why I directly link Shem being the father of Ebir, because the lineage tie. And he is the father of Ebir, all of Ebir, all of the Hebrews.
Hallelujah.
Because Ebir is the father of the Hebrews.
Hallelujah.
Keep reading.
And unto Ebir was born 2 sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided. And his brother's name was Yoktan. And Yoktan begot Amadah, and Seleth, and Hazamaveth, and Yerah, and Hodaram, and Uzal, and Obal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Yabab. All these were the sons of Yoktan. and their dwelling were from Meshach, as thou goest unto Sephar, a mount on the east. These sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their land, after their nations.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
After the nation divided in the earth after the flood, this is how the earth got repopulated. Now, flow right over into 11.
And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east.
And mine read like this. And the whole earth was of one language and few words. That's what it meant by one speech. It was a one language after they got off the boat and few words. Now that would be so because all of them sons was the sons of who? Noah. It was always Shem, Ham, Japheth. Then they break off. So there's not many words and there's one language.
All right.
This is what they're talking about when they talk about paleo. I have this script that breaks down and shows. That's what they're talking about paleo. But it's not just, see, you hear this term out, paleo Hebrew. Well, it's not just paleo, it's paleo language, period.
Hallelujah.
They say paleo Hebrew, it's just Hebrew is the only language. It's paleo language, or the earliest form of language, period. And that's why it's one language with very few words in its earliest form. And that's why its concentrated vowel sound is the aleph. But, see, Hebrew is young. The very first tablets on here is called the Ugarit tablet, which is Akkadian. And in the Akkadian language, it not only has the ah sound, but it has an I, which is translated into E, and it has the U. So you have I, E, U. Not just You can make, it's more than just one vowel. But, yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Where does Hammurabi's code come in at?
Hammurabi's code is there. It's there. It's right there. And that came out, that's what I should have brought my big book. Because that handout comes out of my big book. But Hammurabi's code is right around in this time, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's keep going.
Hallelujah. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east,
As they journeyed from the east,
that they found a plain in the land of Shinar.
As who journeyed from the east?
No.
Men. Yes, as men migrated, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar.
And they dwelt there.
Mm-hmm.
And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly.
Can I see?
And they had brick for stone.
I'm sorry.
They had brick for stone.
Mm-hmm.
And slime had they for mortar.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And Yahweh came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. And Yahweh said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language.
They have how many languages?
One language.
One. That they communicate in very well.
And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go
And
down.
that's why I said the study of foreign languages. Like I told my brother, I said, places you going that's in the military, I said, first thing you do, incorporate yourself with the language. Like I said, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because language is the first and last barrier. If you break down language, then there is no barrier between you and that culture. Because you can understand them and they can understand you. Like I said, there's a reason why they changed from speaking American and speak Chinese or Japanese or whatever when you go in the hair store and they don't want you to know what they're talking about you.
Because they don't touch.
Because they know you don't understand. Or when you go in the Islamic store and they talking about you because they know you don't understand. But the minute you go in there and you hear them say something and you can say something back to them, oh, that's done. All that is done. They're going to stay English because the game is up. Because language is the first and last barrier, and it's been that way since this time. Because the Almighty said, once they were one and one language, there's nothing that they could not do. So let us go down and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So Yahweh scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of the earth, and they left all building the city. And the name of the place was called Babel, because Yahweh did confound the language of all the earth. And from there did Yahweh scatter them abroad upon the face of the earth. So who gave man the inability to communicate? And who designed all these different languages now?
Yahweh.
The Almighty did.
Hallelujah.
Now, it don't mean that there was an introduction of a lot of new words. It's just the way that I spoke something might have changed. Even one word that's the same, it might have been given a different definition based on what I was speaking. As I said, we say Amen. Amen to us is so true. I go into Egypt and they say Amen. Amen means something that they done set up as a deity. See the confusion? If one word means something to me here, but it means something to you there, we confused.
Yes.
Because when I say it, I ain't talking about the same thing that you talking about. So don't think it's a big old thing of words came. Nah, just a change of meaning. When they started speaking, the change in the meaning. But let's get this lineage. Verse 10.
These are the generations of Shem.
Because this hones in more on the lineage of Shem, the family of Shem.
Shem was 100 years old
And
begot Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begot Arphaxad 500 years.
Yes.
And begot sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 530 years and begot Salah. And Arphaxad lived after he begot Salah 403 years and begot sons and daughters. And Salah lived 30 years and begot Eber. And Salah lived after he begot Eber 403 years and begot sons and daughters. And Eber lived 430 years and begot Peleg. And Eber lived after he begot Peleg 430 years and begot sons and daughters.
And in Peleg day was the earth divided, cleaved. It says a shaking. Many interpret that as a great earthquake that separated a landmass. And so when Eber crossed over, they believe that that's what it's talking about, that he crossed over. Because in the days of Peleg, his son was the earth separated or clay. So when they saw him cross over, they said he crossed over. And Evir took the connotation of crossing over in some scholars' terminology. That's why you'll hear him say Evir, it means to cross over. Go ahead.
And Peleg lived 30 years and begot Reu. And Peleg lived after he begot Reu 209 years and begot sons and daughters. And Reu lived 32 years and begot Serug. And Reu lived after he begot Serug 207 years and begot sons and daughters.
Yes.
And Serug lived 30 years and begot Nahor.
He begot Nahor.
And Serug lived after he begot Nahor 200 years and begot sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 29 years and begot Terah.
He begot Terah.
And Nahor lived after he begot Terah 119 years and begot sons and daughters.
And Terah lived 70 years, and Terah begot Avram. He begot Nahor, his namesake, and he begot Haran. These are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Avram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begot Lot. And Haran died before his father, Terah, in the land of his nativity, in the land of Ur of the Chaldees. Do you see Ur on your handout? Because that Haran of Amram is not named after the Haran that's the son of Terah. But remember, there's not many words, so somebody in the lineage, in the other part of the lineage of Amram, they took it upon themselves and their name Haran. But this Haran that's here, hope I ain't confused y'all, is the son that died. He's the son of Terah. And he died in the land of his nativity. What does nativity mean? And his birthplace was Ur of the Chaldees. And if that was his birthplace, where was Avram's birthplace?
Ur of
the Chaldees. And Abraham and Nahor took them wives. The name of Avram's wife was Sarai. And the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, the father of Ishkar. But Sarai was barren, and she had no child. And Terah, now, circle 31. You see, and I'm asking y'all to follow along with the handout. You see the land of right? Or Ur, right? This is Abraham's birthplace. This place, that place right there, is what's called regionally as Mesopotamia. And is a city that's there. Sumner is a city that's there. And what other city is there? Akkad. Akkad, which is the tongue of Akkad is Akkadian. I hope I'm not losing y'all. The tongue of Akkad is Akkadian. So before there was what I'm getting and trying to show you is before there was a Hebrew known tongue, there was the Akkadian tongue.
Hallelujah.
And Avram would have spoken because that's all in that region. And in the Akkadian tongue is U. Not just But they left the land of Ur because Terah took Abram his son, took Lot his grandson, and took Sarai, the daughter of his daughter-in-law, Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of where?
Canaan.
He eventually wanted to go, the destination was the land of Canaan. But before they got to the land of Canaan, where did they settle?
Haran.
They came to Haran. Now find Haran on your map. And they dwelt in Haran. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. This same Haran. Y'all wondering why we going through, y'all said we was done with school now.
No.
And you don't want to have no student loans when you leave out of here. But that Haran is the same place that's later going to be called Padan Aram, which is the same place that's called Aram Naharaim, with the Aram between the two rivers, which later on is going to be given the designation of Syria. So it's known as Haran, Pandan Aram, Aram Naharim, but it's also going to be known as Syria. So put that there if it's not there. The same place is going to be called Syria. But Abraham in lineage is a son of who? Evir.
Hallelujah.
That's why when you go to Genesis 14th chapter, let's go there. See, it's not no nickname. You just got to understand. It's not a nickname. It's not something, and it's not different. We're going to make it all come together.
Genesis chapter 14.
Genesis chapter 14.
Yes, sir.
Start at verse 11.
Hallelujah. And they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah and all the and went their way. And they took Lot, Abraham's brother, Abram's brother, son, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And there came one that had escaped.
And there came one who was able to get away while they took him and captured him. He was able to get away, and he told Abram the Hebrew.
For he dwelt in the plain of Mamre.
For he was in the plains of Mamre,
The Amorite,
brother
of Eshcol.
Yes.
The brother of Anir. And these were the confederates with Abram.
Yes. So they all jumped in with Abram. Now I gotta keep going because I told the sister we was gonna tackle this as well. So it's right here. So y'all mind is good. Keep going.
And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servant, born in his own house,
born and brought up under him,
318.
These are the original.
And pursued them unto Dan.
And they went out.
And he divided himself.
The other one that wasn't trained or didn't pass the specs, you stayed home. Finish training. But the ones I know throw down, the ones I know split heads, they go in. And they went with him. Go ahead. And Abram was a great general. Go ahead.
And he divided himself against them, and he and his servants by night.
So he did something unconventional. He fought war at night.
And they smote them and pursued them unto Hobah, which was on the left hand of Damascus.
Yes, Damascus.
Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot and his goods, and the women also, and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of
Kedorlaomer.
Kedorlaomer, and the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's dale. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine.
He also came out too. The king of Sodom came to meet him as he was coming back, and the king of Salem, Melchizedek, he came out as well to meet him as he was coming back.
And he was the priest of the Most High El. And he blessed him and said, "Blessed be Abram,
blessed be
of the Most High El,
yes,
possessor of heaven and earth.
Blessed be El Elyon, which have delivered thine enemies into your hands." And he gave him a tenth of all. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, "Give me the what?
Persons.
And take the goods to thyself."
And Abram said to the king of Sodom, "I have lifted up my hand unto Yahweh, the Most High El."
Now, I don't want to go any further. Now, what did they do with this Melchizedek?
They made him a god.
They made him into something that the book did not say he was. For in the book of Hebrews in the New Testament, they said that this man have no mother and have no father, have no beginning of days and no end of days, being without descent. And they said, and that's why Christ was told in the book he should be a priest after the order of Melchizedek. But if this is a man, every man is born
of
a woman.
Yes, sir.
And a father. There has not been one. Even Christ was born of a woman. We don't know who his daddy was, but he was born of a woman. Nobody just popped up on the face of this earth.
All right.
And nobody does that, just pops up and have the ability to just pop up on the face of the earth, except for the Creator and his angelic host.
All right.
And that's why he says in the book of Psalms, "I have made thee a little lower than the angels." Because that one thing that separates you from them is their ability in which they can trespass against time and space. You cannot.
Hallelujah.
Because you are flesh and blood, and
right.
I'll put you in a certain state as flesh and blood.
All right.
They can assume the form of flesh and blood, but they are my ministers, which I make spirits.
Hallelujah.
They can move in and out of time and space like I do, and assume human form. You have not that ability because you're confined. Your spirit is confined to flesh and blood. And that's why you are a little lesser than the angels. Other than that, you really have a lot of, or most of the capacity that they have. Yes. But this man, he's not an Israelite. We don't know. Apparently his lineage is not important. That's why it's not here. And that's why all we do know is he came out being a priest of the Most High, El Elyon, that they knew at that time. And he greeted him being in that capacity. He greeted Father Abraham as he came back.
Hallelujah.
But they took it and in the book of Hebrews made a whole doctrine to try to support Christ. And what he says And what that is saying is David would be, and it's talking about David, because he's saying David would be a priest after the order of Melchizedek, because Melchizedek is not a Levite. Neither will David be a Levite. But David, and like Melchizedek was a ruler. He was a king and priest. And that will be David's stead. He will be king and priest. That's why he can go in and sit with the Creator, where no other man can go and sit with him in that gate. That's reserved for a person that's high in Yah's status. Once he go in and he come out, you shut that. Just like Moses. Once Moses was able to go in and come out, and nobody else went in there. That was off limits to any other man. And that's why we wrote even to Moses. He was king in Yeshurun. Because he was not just a prophet to us. He ruled and walked and served in the capacity of being Melech, king. He was king in Yeshurun. His word was king. Rebel against it. He was the high authority. So what this is talking about. Now let's keep going. So that's who met Father Abram. And he blessed him. But Abram was known here as Abram. They came and told Abram the what?
The Hebrew.
The Hebrew. I don't want to divert from that. Now let's go to Genesis 24. We bring it home. Tie this all together. Because now Abraham is known as a, like I said, y'all dead to me today. I don't know.
Known as the Hebrew. A great general.
This is talking about his lineage. He's the son of Evir. Evir translates into Hebrew. Genesis 24. Now, Abraham tells his servant in this chapter, Abraham tells his servant something that he wants him to do. And this is what he wants him to do. Start.
Genesis 24, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and Yahweh had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said unto his eldest servant of his house, that ruled over all that he had, put, I pray thee, thy hand under my thigh, and I will make thee swear by Yahweh, thy Elohim of heaven, and the El of the earth, that thou shalt not take a wife unto my son, of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell.
Because he had already moved from Haran, and he had moved and migrated down into the land of Canaan. But he don't, Eleazar of Damascus, who's his servant, to take for Isaac a son, or a woman, excuse me, of any other Canaanites around him. Be it Jebusite, Hamathite, all the Canaanite families we read. He don't want him to choose from nobody that inhabit the land of Canaan, even though that's where he had migrated down to and settled into. So he told his servant, I need to send you out of Canaan back to the land where I came from to find my son and his wife.
Huge point, folks.
Go ahead.
But thou shalt go unto my country.
Go back to my country.
And to my kindred.
Go back to my kindred.
And take a wife.
Two different things.
Unto my son.
Go to my country that I came out of, and go back to my kindred, my people that's in the country I came out of, and find him a wife. Go ahead.
And the servant said unto him, peradventure, the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land. Must I needs bring thy son again unto the land from whence thou camest? And Abraham said unto him,
what?
Beware.
What?
Beware beware thou that thou bring not my son thither again.
He said, no, you can't find him a woman that'll come and be with him. Don't take him to her.
All right? Hallelujah.
That's even the hint to the why it's sufficient for the day. The brothers be looking to go find a woman that they can follow. She get the place, she do this and she do that. That's what they want. And Abraham said, no, he don't follow her.
All right?
You find one to come back here and be with him.
Hallelujah.
You don't chase her.
All right?
See, to make the decision to come and be with him. If you don't find a woman like that, I relieve you of this oath. Keep going.
And if the woman will not be willing to follow thee, then thou shalt be clear from this, my oath. Only bring not my son thither again.
Only don't take him back there.
And the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham, his master, and swore to him concerning that matter. And the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master and departed. For all the goods of his master were in his hand. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia unto the city of Nahor. And he made his camels to kneel down without the city by a well of water at the time of the evening, even the time that women go out to draw water. And he said, O Yahweh Elohim of my master Abraham, I pray thee, send me good speed this day, and show kindness unto my master Abraham. Behold, I stand here by the well of water, and the daughters of men of the city come out to draw water.
That's good. Drop down to verse 15.
And it came to pass, before he had done speaking,
Before he even done speaking,
that behold,
we say Almighty answer prayers, he showed us. That behold,
Rebekah came out,
Rebecca will come out.
who was born of Bethuel.
Now look and see who she is. This is Rebecca, that's born of who?
Bethuel,
Bethuel.
son
Bethuel, who is the son of
Milcah,
Milcah,
the wife of Nahor,
the wife of Nahor, Abraham what? Brother.
With her picture upon her shoulder.
Now this is who Rebecca was. Rebecca is the daughter of Bethuel. Bethuel, who is the son of Milcah. Milcah, who is the wife of Nahor. Nahor, who is the brother of Abraham. Now, here's where it gets good. Because here's where we clear up the confusion. If Abraham was called a Hebrew, then what is Nahor?
A Hebrew.
And if Nahor is a Hebrew, then what is Rebecca?
A Hebrew.
And if Rebecca is a Hebrew, then what is Laban?
A Hebrew.
Because he is her brother.
Brother. That's right.
So Laban is a
Hebrew.
He have to be if she is, if her father is.
And that's his brother.
Now let's go to 28. Genesis 28.
Genesis chapter 28.
Verse 1.
Hallelujah. And Isaac called Yaakov and blessed him and charged him and said unto him,
But the same thing is happening that happened between Abraham and his servant. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan.
Don't say nothing. You can't eat women.
Arise, go to Padan Aram,
I don't care whether we've been here 1,500 years. Don't say nothing to these women. Go ahead.
to the house of Bethuel.
Go to now he on what? Padan Aram. Padan Aram is still the same place as Aram, which was still the same place as Aram, Naharim, which is still the same place as Haran, which is still the same place called Syria. So he tells him, go back to where?
Around.
To the house of who?
Bethuel.
Your mother's
father.
And take you
a wife from thence of the daughters of the bond
of your
mother's
uncle.
brother.
So we all Hebrews.
Hallelujah.
We all children of Evir, descendants of Evir. Our country that we live in, that Father Abram came out of, was the country of Padan Aram. That's where he sent me back to, was the country of Padan Aram, the country of Haran, the country of Aram Naharim, the country of Syria. That's why it says, my father was a Syrian ready to pay, meaning speaking of his country he came out of, but not of his lineage. His lineage was that of Ebir or Hebrew.
Hallelujah.
He was a Hebrew that came out of the country of Syria.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's no contradiction.
Yes, sir. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yes, sir.
This is putting it all together.
Hallelujah.
He was a Hebrew that came from Syria, or what would be known as Syria, the country. And that's what we're saying. Our father came out of the country of Syria and came down into Egypt. And there he became populous. Because that's where he went back to get his wife. That's where he fled from his uncle Laban.
Hallelujah.
But lineage, he is a Hebrew, because he is the son of Isaac, who is the son of Abram, the Hebrew, who is the son of Evir, the Hebrew. Evir, who is the son of Shem. So we can go all the way back and say, so Abram and Jacob is a lineage-wise a Shemite. This is one is talking about lineage, one is talking about land of nativity or sojourning.
Hallelujah.
Keep reading.
Verse 3. And El Almighty bless thee, and make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which Elohim gave unto Abraham. And Isaac sent away Yaakov, and he went to Padan Aram unto Laban, son of Bethuel, the Syrian,
the Aramean,
the brother of Rebekah.
And in my book it says he went back to the son of Bethuel, the Aramean, because that's what that land was called. Amram, or Haran, or Amram Naharim, or Padan Aram, whatever you want to call it. Or effectually in parentheses. Notice that's in parentheses. Syria, modern terminology. And that's where he would come out of when he would come all the way back down into Egypt. He fled from Laban out of Syria.
Oh, God.
And that's simply what we're saying, going all the way back to Deuteronomy 26 and 5. Assyrian, meaning from the country he came from, not his lineage. Assyrian was my father, ready to perish. And he came down into Egypt. And there became populous. Comments on that? Did I lose anybody? Yeah.
Beautiful.
I ain't losing nobody?
Well,
Y'all with me? Huh?
well broke down.
Y'all didn't,
You know,
bus didn't leave nobody in
broke
the
it
station?
down. Broke it down. Land of city.
Yes, one is, this is talking about the land from which he came, not talking about his lineage.
Oh, we got it.
I said again, this is the last time, his lineage is of Abraham, which is of Evir, which is of Shem. That's why it goes even back to the blessing of Noah. See, all of this, it wasn't no hit and miss. That's why Noah said, blessed be the tents of Shem, that he may persuade Japheth. It is the tents of Shem, and only in the tents of Shem where you find and have the presence of the Almighty Yah Elohim. Not in the tents of Ham, not in the tents of Japheth. That's why that is prophetic. That's why it's through the lineage of Shem and the Shemitic that all men must come to. Israel is of the Shemitic lineage.
Hallelujah.
And that's why it's his job, even though many years and centuries, that is still his job, just as it was the blessing from Father Noah, to bring men back and reconcile them with the Almighty.
Hallelujah.
That was a good job.
Good job, yes, sir. Very thorough broken down.
I hope it was a good job for the brother listening. I hope it was understandable for him and cleared up some things. I'm sure if it wasn't, he'll call me tonight and let me know. But if that was well received and well understood and there's no question behind it, it was clear, then we're going to break.
Hallelujah.
Mom probably need a break after all that. A couple of y'all probably said he could have just hit us with a couple of them scriptures and bypassed everything else. I read
Don't learn
them.
that way.
Don't work that way. No, y'all know how I do. We what? We go down the street, around the corner, back up the block, to get back to. Yes,
Hallelujah.
That's how I get lost when I drive. I'm going down. The lineage of Shem,
Yes, ma'am.
Hebrew,
Yes, ma'am.
that was the lineage of Abraham.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Major points, because that's what it's doing, is it emphasizing major points. That the lineage is Shemitic, and then it's Ebir or Hebraic, and then Father Abraham, because he's the promise, that the promise is laid on. So now Abraham, he becomes major. And then Isaac becomes major because he's the son of the promise. Then Jacob because he's the son of Isaac. So these are major points. But it's country, one is talking about country, but the other is dealing in lineage. Yes. And that's why I said, when you look at this language breakdown, Akkadian, of course, Hebrew is even younger than the Akkadian language. So I know that the Hebrew, when they talk about the Paleo, I know this. I ain't know Johnny come lately, and you ain't gonna just throw nothing out there at me. I know there was more than just ah. We didn't just have ah. We have more sounds than that. And then language through the course of years does something that they call morphology. Morph means change. That's why in early paleo language, you see Baal, the deity. When you get to by the time you get to the book of Daniel, when that Babylon is ruling, you see Baal give way to Bel. Same word. It's a morphology, but it's the same thing. Baal become Beth because of morphology. The migration of men and to be able to, and the changing as man migrates, the changing. Like I said, if you go to China, Cantonese, Mandarin, Kung Fu, same thing. But because of dialect, shalom, dialect, morphology.
Well, how the Muslims say it,
Yes, ma'am.
with an I, even though that's. We go to our
Jabril.
language.
They'll say Jabril. But Jabril. When I say Jabril, if I say Jabril, he should sit up. Yeah. Because I'm saying Gabriel. In the Islamic tongue, dialect, Jabril. But I'm saying Gabriel. Sister Via, you was trying to find the question. Okay. So perhaps during the break you'll find it. Just stand.
Hallelujah.
We can get it. Brother Boaz, you're gonna pray for us. Yes, sir.
Hallelujah.
We ain't gonna let you live that one down.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yahweh.
God is righteous
All the time.
day and night.
Hallelujah. They said, boy, see,
All right, brother.
they said, why can't Brother Aaron
Let
be
me
that
hurry up and
simple?
pause this real quick.
16:45.
Let me hurry up and turn this off real quick.
How we doing? Well, y'all, they were doing stuff to your congregation, and I was gone. Oh, yeah. Yeah.